Hi, I'm Carl Miner. I'm the Executive Director of the Humane Society of Berks County in Reading and Douglasville, Pennsylvania. I wanted to take a couple minutes to share with you a new program expansion that we recently undertook that I think might be of interest to you. The Humane Society of Berks County, for many years now, has been working to not just find homes for homeless animals to combat the problem of euthanasia and animal shelters in Pennsylvania across the nation, but we've been trying to fight the underlying causes of these animals entering shelters in the first place. And our hope is that if we can keep the animals from coming in, then we never need to deal with the issue of euthanasia, and we can put more of our resources into getting the animals that do come into our shelter homes. One of the ways we've done that is through a program called Animal Meals on Wheels. And Animal Meals on Wheels is a partnership we have with local Meals on Wheels providers where we deliver monthly food and pet care supply packages as well as necessary medical care, veterinary medical care for the pets of people who are homebound and receiving Meals on Wheels services. It's been a great program. It's received wonderful attention from the community, and as a result, we have actually ended up with more donations of food and supplies for these animals than we can actually distribute through the program. By the end of 2007, we had over a ton of extra donated pet food at the shelter. We didn't know what to do with it. We talked to the people that were receiving Animal Meals on Wheels distributions to see if they needed more, and we gave them any extra that they thought that they could use. We contacted local animal shelters, regional animal shelters, animal rescue groups to see if they needed food, and we actually distributed a huge amount of food to them as well. We currently have a successful partnership with Science Diet, so all the animals in our shelter are fed Science Diet, and all of the adopters actually get a bag of food out with them, so there wasn't an opportunity to use the food that way. So we were thinking how we can make use of this food without simply throwing it into the dumpster in a way that might help animals. And given the rough economy, which is impacting everybody, including us, we figured that there were probably people out there who really needed the help. Might, that extra 40-pound bag of dog food might be the difference between them feeding their animal properly and feeding it a little less than it should, or even potentially bringing that animal into a shelter. We didn't know if it would work. We didn't know if one person would need the help, if 10 people, if more would. We put out the press release. We picked a Saturday, and we basically opened the doors to see what would happen. What we ended up with was hundreds of people from the community showing up to take advantage of this opportunity. We expected there was going to be some response, but the outpouring of need from the community really took us by surprise. We had no income requirement. The one thing we did require for this program was that if it was a dog that you were seeking food for, you had to have a current valid dog license. As a result, we ended up writing an additional 100 licenses to people that day. What we allowed people to do was get either 20 or 40 pounds of dog food per licensed dog, depending on the size of the dog, and a 20-pound bag of cat food. We had the young and the old. It was men, women, people who had recently lost their jobs, people who had had their hours cut, people on Social Security and fixed incomes. We had, a cross-section of the entire community, and these are people who truly needed the help and truly wanted to do the best thing for their pets. They were facing some really hard decisions on how to care for their animals, and our hope was that this was going to be something that would make it a little bit easier for them to do what they really wanted to do and to care for their pets the way that they truly wanted to. We know that there were a few people that were upset. They thought we were simply, giving out food to, people who didn't need it and didn't want it, and we should have done other things. And how could they prove that they needed it? But this was food. It wasn't like they were going to be taking it out and selling it on the street. If they're coming in to get food, it was something that they needed, and we really felt that it was important to simply say, "We have it. We want you, if you need it, to come get it." And I think really the best argument is it was 14 degrees that day. We had people who were standing in line for an hour in the 14-degree cold in order to get food for their pets. I don't think those are necessarily people that were, doing it just to get their cheap bag of food. These are people who truly needed the help, and we were really glad that we could provide it to them. In a little under 2 hours, we distributed a ton and a half of pet food to 188 families in our communities who needed it. We don't know what this is going to mean for them or for their pets. We don't know if it's going to keep any animals from coming into our shelter that might have. But what we do know is that in 188 households, there are pets who are better fed this month. and that means that they are better behaved, they are healthier. We know that all of those things can combine to keep an animal at home where it belongs. For 100 years, shelters like ours have been going at this backwards. We've been waiting for the animals to come in and then trying to save them rather than keeping them from coming in the first place, which is far easier to do, we hope. We're going to see how this works. We're going to keep it up as best we can. We don't always have that much food. We encourage anyone who sees this and would like to support us or their local shelter, make food donations like this. They do help. And of course, right now, the economy is affecting charities like ours significantly. We really do need the financial support in order to have the staff and all the things that go into distributing this food. So if you can possibly help us or your own local shelter, we certainly encourage it. You can get more information about our organization at our website, www.berkshumane.org. And I truly appreciate you taking a few minutes to learn about one small way that we're just trying to make a difference and trying something new in an attempt to combat what is really an epidemic of euthanasia in shelters across America. Thank you.